Okay, well, I think it's just us. Maybe Baby he will come, maybe not. I'm not sure. Did you hear anything from her?
No, no.
Yeah, I didn't either. So
Mm,
that's okay. And
mm,
I think I might do this again next weekend too. Just
mm,
I need to really practice. So
mm,
anyway,
mm.
Adele is totally new to TPRS. So let's do a little intro.
Mm.
In German?
No, no, no. This part's in
Okay.
English.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
So teaching proficiency through reading and storytelling is TPRS. And this was originally created back in the 80s by my Spanish teacher, Blaine Ray. And he's been developing it for the last 30 years. And it's really undergone some significant developments since around August or so of this year.
Mm-hmm.
So you're getting the latest, the greatest, and the updatedest version of TPRS, but it's been around for a long time.
Okay.
TPRS is a language acquisition method versus a language learning method. So if you think about learning to ride your bike, or anyone wants to learn how to ride their bike, um, the best way to learn how to ride the bike is to get on it and try and fall and get some help from your caregivers or your friends or whomever it is, but to actually do it. Oh, there's baby he. To actually get on the bike and actually ride it. 안녕하세요.
I'm sorry. I'm
No, you're
late.
okay. Don't worry.
Evening.
No problem.
It was in space, so it was hard
Yeah, right?
to
She
come
was
down.
in space, so she had to come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you were in Uju.
I'm Uzu. Okay.
Yeah, you're in
Ooh.
space behind you with the northern lights.
Yeah. I'm in space because I have the right time now. Yeah. Nice to meet
This
you.
is Adele Beimihi.
Hello. Yeah,
Yeah.
Adele.
It
Yeah.
says Kim In Sung, that's her son, but she's
Okay.
she's actually Bei Mi Hee, and she was my co-teacher two some years ago, or how many years ago? 3 years? I don't know.
3 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
3 4 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
she's here
Nice.
to learn some German
반갑습니다.
too.
Oh, wow.
반갑습니다. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just explaining about TBRs because Adele doesn't know much about it. So
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's a language acquisition method, and there tends to be a lot more language learning when it comes to learning a new language. And language learning would be like if we took our bike and we took it apart and we studied every part of that bike. And we're like, oh, I know that the pedal is what I push my foot on to
Okay.
move. And I use the handlebars to hold myself in place. And I sit on the seat, and we take it all apart. We put it all together and we test it and see how it runs. And we, put it on a little stationary bike area so we can practice, repeating the pedal motions over and over and over again, but we don't actually get very good at riding the bike. We know a
Mhm.
lot about riding the bike, and we can do some things. We can pedal really well, and we
Mhm.
can ride around with our training wheels on. But when it comes to actually riding, or riding downhill, riding uphill, doing tricks, even if we get really crazy, um, you get where I'm going. So,
Yes.
um, however, if we learn how to ride our bike in, the normal way that we learned it growing up, and then we take our bike apart and we add new things and we clean it up and we spruce it up and we make this, jet powered bike or whatever, however we want to change it, then, then that actually has some benefit. So it's the same with the language. We acquire
Mhm.
it first through context and meaning, and then we can clean it up with language learning later, learn the grammar rules, learn pronunciation rules, learn all that stuff after the fact. And it's a lot
Right.
more effective and it's a lot faster and more enjoyable. So how do we do that? The first ingredient is comprehensible input, which is a long fancy word that means understood language. So until you as the student have understood in the past tense, you understood what I said. So if you're understanding, you're in the process of understanding, language acquisition actually still isn't happening. It doesn't happen until you have totally understood what I'm saying. And now you can start to acquire fluency and language. So we have this comprehensible input plus the interaction in the classroom setting or even with videos, just speaking aloud to the videos. But this interactive piece where you're actually using the muscles in your articulators and your voice and everything to first create those neuromuscular connections and then strengthen them over time. This is what leads to fluency. If we only have comprehensible input, we listen to lots and lots of podcasts on riding our bike. We watch amazing bicyclists. We watch marathons. We get all this great input that we understand and we understood now because we've seen it, but we still can't actually ride our bike that well unless we practice it. And that's this interactive piece. Okay.
Mhm.
Questions so far?
No, very clear.
So, language acquisition, like language learning as well, is very slow at first. So, we're all going to be patient with each other and we're going to take our time because I want you to be successful. I want you to gain some microfluency so that you can feel like I actually can speak some German. But that requires that we're going really slow at first. So that's just part of the process. Just like when a toddler first starts to learn how to walk, it's very slow. It takes some time. But then they get fast, and so will you. Takes time. And we do it through repetition. There's going to be lots of repetition. And then there's novelty in these little details that we're going to include in our story that keep your brain engaged and from turning off and not acquiring more language. There are 3 rules in this game called TPRS, and it is a game. The first rule is that it's my story. So I say what is actually in the story or not in the story, but you can guess and maybe you just might be right. Number 2, anything is possible. So we just don't even question the sensibility of something or if a detail changes or something doesn't make sense, doesn't matter. Anything is possible. And the third rule is that only the teacher will help another student. So if a student is having trouble finding a word or saying something and you know it because you're paying attention and you've acquired it, there's this really strong urge to want to support other students because we know how uncomfortable it can feel to be like, I don't know what I'm saying and people are watching me. So we can tend to want to jump in there. But when we do that, we take the person off their bike and they don't actually get to keep pedaling and keep trying, even though they fell down a couple of times. So um I'll step in if they need some support, and you can just mute yourself and you can talk to yourself when you know the answer and get some more practice that way. So please speak in German, but I'm not going to force you to speak in German. And if you're ever unclear about something, just ask me. You can do this little symbol here with like a fist on your hand that tells me that you don't understand something. It's like you've hit a wall and you're like, wait a minute. Or you can go like timeout or
Can we do the Korean?
big
No?
X, whatever, flag me down. Okay, please ask questions anytime. You can always say pass. I'll probably come back to you and I'll probably encourage you to try and speak. But if you really don't want to do it, it's no problem. Just say pass. You can use English names of people and places, unless you feel like it's really simple and you want to try a German name or place or whatever. So, like an example would be one of our main characters is George, and in German his name is Georg, which is kind of close, kind of not. You can say George or you can say Georg. Or we have 2 Koreans here. You can say Joji if you want, whatever is easier for you. I don't want you to struggle to try and remember names. Okay. So, some expectations. This is just like an hour class. So don't be expecting to go and have full conversations with your German
Right.
friend, though you'll be able to say a lot of things. So just know that and have some grace with yourself and other people. It's going to be like a toddler, falling down, getting back up again. Your pronunciation, don't try to have perfect pronunciation. You can definitely strive to pronounce things, but that will only slow you down even more if you're trying to pronounce it exactly correctly. So just say it how it comes out. You might hear me say it in a different pronunciation. So that's not me correcting you and saying that was wrong. That's me letting you hear it again. So you can contrast it to what you said, to what I said, and acquire it over time. But don't be trying to, pronounce it perfectly every time. It's just going to slow you down. Okay. So we're going to have some grace with ourselves in our pronunciation, in our understanding, in our other classmates. Okay. Anytime you're not speaking, you can practice pronunciation. So you can definitely practice when you're not speaking. You can mouth along with me without making any sound to like move your muscles, but use my voice to make the sound. Or you can mute yourself and speak out loud when it's not your turn to speak. You can try predicting what I'm going to say or what another person is going to say. You can contrast what another student says to what I say to what another student says. And you can write things down. So you can write down any of the details. You can write down words that you want to try and remember for later. Just don't be writing your whole story so that you can just read it. Reading your story is not going to help you in class. Okay? Questions?
Scared.
Huh?
Very, very nervous.
Oh, good. That's exactly where we want to be. Celebration. She's nervous. Yay.
This is scary. Like this. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. We're all there with you. It's exciting and scary, as Little Red Riding
Hey.
Hood would say. I'm
It's
excited
scary.
and
I'm
scared.
scared too because
Yeah.
I never heard about any German before.
Ooh, that's
So I have
exciting.
no idea.
Well, here we go. All right. I'm going to help you every step of the way. Let me turn my spotlight on. Ooh.
You can do that?
Yeah, I know. I'm
Nice.
amazing, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. So anytime you hear me say
Klasse. No.
Klasse,
Mm.
okay. Anytime you hear me say Klasse, that means class, and I'm talking to all of you, everybody. Okay. So if you hear me say Klasse, you can unmute and you're going to respond with yes, which in German is ja.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's practice. Good job.
Yeah.
Ja.
Okay, here we go. Klasse.
Ja.
Oh, sehr gut. Sehr gut.
Ja.
Sehr gut means very good.
Yeah.
Sehr gut. Ja.
Sehr gut.
Yeah, sehr gut. Very good.
Good.
Okay, so if I say a sentence, you are going to say, oh, like it's the most interesting thing you've ever heard in your life, even if it's not. Okay, remember, this is a game. Oh, okay, so yeah, good.
Oh.
So let's practice that here. We have our ja,
Ja.
which means
Ja.
yes. And for no, anybody know no in German?
Nein.
Yes, just like the number.
Nine.
9.
9.
Yes.
Nine.
Standard
Just
my
like the
German.
number. Yeah.
Mhm.
9.
We have ja
Ja.
Ja.
und nein.
9.
Nein.
Yeah, richtig. Richtig. That means right. Okay, here we go. Es gibt einen Jungen. Oh, richtig. Es gibt einen Jungen.
Jungen.
Oh.
Oh.
Klasse.
Ja.
Ja.
Gibt es einen Jungen?
Ja.
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 Ja, sehr gut. Richtig. Richtig. That means right. Richtig. Es gibt einen Jungen. Oh.
Oh.
Ja, es gibt einen Jungen. Oh.
Oh.
Okay, so if I say a sentence, you say oh, and we skipped to 3 already. So if I ask you a question and the answer is known because I told you the answer, then you just answer in 1 or 2 words. Don't use a full sentence if I'm asking the whole class because I'm listening to your processing speed of the language. I'm trying to see how long it takes you to process the language and respond. And if I have to wait for everybody to say a whole sentence, then I can't ask quicker and quicker and quicker questions to really to see how you're processing the language. Okay. And again, none of this is a test. I'm not testing you. I'm testing my teaching and I'm seeing where my lesson is going next. So any of this stuff, you're giving me feedback to know where we go next. Okay. And your job is just to speak. That's it. No grading. Okay. So if I ask you a question, yes.
Do we say oh every time there's a new sentence or just anytime there's a sentence?
Anytime I say a sentence, that's a very good question.
Okay.
Say, oh, because that tells me you understood that I said a sentence and not a question, and that you
Okay.
understood that I said a sentence. So that gives me
Okay.
information that you are following me. So, yes, very good
Okay.
question.
So it's a
Say,
statement. Okay.
yep, any statement, right.
Okay.
Good question. So, and again, if I ask a question, the answer is no in 1 or 2 words. If I ask you a question and the answer is unknown, then your job is to surprise me. And you can use English. If you don't know the German word, you just say something in English and you try to surprise me. Okay? All right. Here we go. Questions? Any more questions? All right.
Yet.
So we have ja und nein und es gibt einen Jungen.
Jungen.
Oh,
Oh.
richtig. Okay. Jean
Ja.
gibt es einen Jungen?
Ja.
Yeah. So I didn't tell you this yet, but let me show you. Jean knows what's happening. But if I say your name, you're going to answer in a full sentence.
Okay.
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 So if I ask in the whole class, just 1 or 2 words. But if I say your name, you're going to use a full sentence.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
one more time.
Mhm.
Jean
Ja.
gibt es einen Jungen?
Ja. Es gibt einen Jungen.
Oh, sehr gut. Applaus. Klasse. Applaus. Applaus means applause. Applaus. Paksu in Korean. Applaus. Sehr gut, Jean. Ja.
Ja.
Gibt einen Jungen. Sehr gut. Bei Michi.
Ja.
Was
Was?
gibt es
Es gibt einen Jungen.
Richtig, Applaus, klasse, sehr gut. Baby, you're so smart.
Danke.
Es gibt einen Jungen. Was gibt es? Es gibt einen Jungen. Okay. Adele,
Ja,
gibt es einen Jungen?
ja, es gibt einen Jungen.
Richtig, Applaus, sehr gut. Adele,
Ja,
gibt es einen Jungen oder ein Mädchen?
es gibt einen Jungen.
Richtig, sehr gut. Applaus, sehr gut.
Although we don't know how he identifies, but that's
Yes, right.
Oh.
Yes. Well, we do because es gibt einen Jungen. Richtig, yeah. But very good point. Es gibt einen Jungen. Es
Jungen.
gibt kein Mädchen. Es gibt kein Mädchen. Es
Mädchen.
gibt einen Jungen. Oh, now you'll see there's all sorts of words here. Don't worry, they're going to come with time, okay? So don't worry. Just know that they're there. We're going to use them all. So don't worry, okay? Richtig, sehr gut, Adele. Es gibt kein Mädchen. Es gibt einen Jungen. Oh. Okay. Beimihi,
Ja,
if I say beschreibe die Situation, if I say describe the situation, okay? You
okay.
remember describe the situation, right? From our
Okay.
classes. So, oh, sorry, I went past here. So you just say as many sentences as you can that you remember, okay?
Okay.
So, Beimihi,
Ja,
beschreibe die Situation, bitte.
ja. Es gibt einen Jungen.
Richtig.
Es gibt kein Mädchen.
Sehr gut, Mädchen. Sehr gut. Applaus. Applaus. Richtig.
Mädchen. Right?
Ja, richtig. Ja, richtig.
Mädchen.
Es gibt einen Jungen und es gibt kein Mädchen. Applaus. Sehr gut. Okay. Jiangjin,
Ja,
beschreibe die Situation, bitte.
es gibt einen Jungen und es gibt kein Mädchen.
Richtig, sehr gut. Sehr gut. Applaus. Ja. Es gibt einen Jungen und
Und
es gibt
es gibt
kein Mädchen. Oh, sehr gut. Adele, beschreibe
Ja.
die Situation bitte.
Es gibt einen Jungen und es gibt kein Mädchen.
Sehr gut. Applaus. Sehr gut.
Very good.
Sehr gut. Klasse.
Ja.
Ja.
Was gibt es nicht? Was gibt es nicht? Es gibt einen Jungen und was gibt es nicht?
Mit,
Nicht.
Richtig, richtig, Mimi.
Ein Mädchen.
Yes, richtig. Ein Mädchen. Es gibt kein
Kein
Mädchen.
Mädchen.
Sehr gut.
Mädchen.
Applaus. Applaus. Ja.
Yes.
Klasse.
ja,
Ja.
Was gibt es?
Jungen.
Einen Jungen.
Richtig. Einen Jungen. Richtig. Sehr gut. Es gibt einen Jungen und es gibt kein Mädchen. Adele,
Ja.
was ist ein Mädchen? What is a Mädchen in English?
A girl.
Yes. So when I say es gibt einen Jungen, what am I saying in English?
There is a boy.
Und es gibt kein Mädchen.
There is no girl.
Yes, there is not a girl. That's right.
Mhm, there's
Or
not a
there isn't a girl, or however you want to say it. But yes,
You're
there
denying.
is. Yeah, there is not a girl.
A girl.
And actually, if you notice here, these are the same. Just one has a K in front of
Right.
it, and so not and this K makes it not.
Ah.
Not
Mhm.
Yeah. Sehr gut. Klasse.
Ja.
Ja.
Gibt es einen Elefanten?
Nein,
Nein.
Nein.
Richtig, sehr gut. Es gibt keinen
Keinen.
Elefanten. Es gibt einen Jungen. Oh, Baby.
ja,
Gibt es einen Jungen?
ja, es gibt einen Jungen.
Richtig. Gibt es einen Elefanten?
Nein, es gibt keinen Elefanten.
Richtig. Was gibt es, Bemihi?
Es gibt einen Jungen.
Richtig. Und was gibt es nicht, Bemihi?
Es gibt keinen Elefanten und Mädchen. Ein
Richtig.
Mädchen.
Richtig, sehr gut. Es gibt keinen Elefanten und kein Mädchen. Richtig, sehr gut. Applaus. Adele,
Ja.
was gibt es nicht?
Es gibt keinen Elefanten
Richtig.
und kein Mädchen.
Richtig, sehr gut. Applaus. Perfekt. Es gibt keinen Elefanten oder so if I say oder ein Mädchen. Richtig. Es gibt keinen Elefanten und kein Mädchen. Sehr gut. Applaus. Changjin.
Ja.
Gibt es eine
Mhm.
Katze?
Katze. Nein,
Richtig.
nein. Es gibt keine Katze.
Richtig. Es gibt
Es gibt
keine,
kein Katze.
ja, es gibt keine Katze.
Keine
Richtig.
Katze. Mhm.
Richtig. Sehr gut. Applaus. Miau. Ja, es gibt keine Katze. Yes?
Den Elefanten, isn't that plural?
Ah,
Oh.
die Elefanten is plural.
Ah, okay.
Yes. So this is because it's the object of the sentence, so it changes to
Right,
den
okay,
Elefanten.
okay.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot
Accusative.
about
Yeah.
the accusative, yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
So all you need to know if that doesn't make sense is that it just changes. So and
Yes.
you'll learn these over time, but that's a good question. Yeah.
I know, it all comes from Latin.
Yes, Latin. So these all mean the. These are just different thes. And like in Spanish, we have la and el, right?
Mhm.
Masculine and feminine. And German has three: masculine, feminine, and neutral or neuter.
Mhm.
So we're learning those. We're acquiring those in a
Mhm.
natural way. Sehr gut. Eine gute Frage. That's a good question. Okay. Klasse,
Ja,
gibt es eine Katze?
Nein.
Nein.
nein,
Richtig. Es klar. It's clear. Es ist klar. Es gibt keine
Keine Katze.
Katze. Ja, es gibt keine Katze. Miau. Keine Katze. Changjin,
ja,
gibt es einen Elefanten oder ein Mädchen oder einen Jungen? Was gibt es?
es gibt einen Jungen.
Richtig. Es gibt einen Jungen. Es gibt keinen Elefanten und kein Mädchen. Es gibt
Na.
einen Jungen. Richtig. Bei Michi,
Ja.
was gibt es nicht?
Es gibt kein Mädchen. Es gibt keinen Elefanten.
Richtig.
Es gibt keine Katze.
Richtig. Es gibt keine Katze.
Eine Katze.
Keine Katze. Richtig. Sehr gut. Applaus. Klasse.
Ja,
Gibt es ein Schwein?
Nein.
Richtig. Ist
I
klar.
forgot we had to answer. Nein.
nein,
Es gibt kein Schwein. Swine or
kein
pig.
Schwein.
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 Richtig.
Schwein.
Es gibt kein Schwein. Adele,
Ja.
gibt es kein Schwein oder keinen Jungen?
Es gibt einen Jungen. Es gibt kein Schwein.
Richtig.
Oder
Applaus.
Elefant. Oder Katze. Oder
Richtig.
Mädchen.
Richtig. Applaus. Sehr gut. That's exactly what you want to do is create your own things. So good job. Es gibt kein Schwein
Mhm.
oder eine Katze oder einen Elefanten. Es gibt einen Jungen. Richtig. Sehr gut. Okay. Adele,
Ja.
Beschreibe die Situation, bitte.
Ja, es gibt einen Jungen. Es gibt kein Mädchen oder einen Elefanten oder eine Katze oder ein Schwein. Es gibt
Richtig.
einen Jungen.
Richtig, sehr gut. Applaus, Applaus. Baby, beschreibe die Situation.
Oh, es gibt einen Jungen. Es gibt kein Mädchen.
Mädchen.
Mädchen. Es gibt kein Elefanten.
Keinen Elefanten.
Kein
Und
Elefant. Und es gibt ein Katze. Ein Katze.
keine Katze.
Keine Katze.
Richtig.
Und es gibt kein
Schwein.
Schwein.
Richtig. Es gibt kein Schwein.
Nein.
Richtig. Sehr gut. Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult because these are cognates in English, but not necessarily cognates in Korean. Because we have swine and cat and elephant, and so they're all kind of very similar for us English speakers. Sehr gut. Es gibt einen Jungen. Es gibt keinen Elefanten und keine Katze und kein Schwein und kein Mädchen. Es gibt einen Jungen. Jiangjin, beschreibe die Situation.
Es gibt einen Jungen. Es gibt keinen Elefanten und es gibt keine Katze
Keine
und
Katze, ja.
keine Katze. Und es gibt kein Schwein und es gibt kein Mädchen.
Mädchen, richtig.
Mädchen.
Sehr gut. Applaus. Okay, now we're going to do a muted describe the situation. So you're going to talk to your computer, muted, and I'm going to give you 33 seconds. Okay? And
That's
you
very
can
specific.
Yep. I like to do the doubles. So this is let's see, do I know my Germans? This is 33. 33. Yeah, we do these double numbers because it's a good pattern for learning numbers if you do the doubles, because you can
Okay.
kind of over time you can dissect how numbers work if you get enough doubles. So 33 seconds, and you're going to say whatever you want, and you can even add things if you want. You don't know the article for them, but just add in the English words and just keep using the sentence of what there is and what there isn't. Okay?
Yeah.
So here we go. I'm going to mute you guys. And 1, 2, 3, los. Okay, finished. So go ahead and show me your thumbs. Thumbs up means I talked the whole time. Thumbs up means I talked more than 50%. Thumbs down means I talked less than 50%.
But I was fast. A little
You were
fast.
fast. Okay. And then this is your comprehension. So 5 means I understand everything you're saying without looking at the words on the slides. 4 means I understand everything you're saying while I'm looking at the words. 3 means even when I'm looking at the words, I'm in and out with understanding. 2 means I'm really trying very hard and struggling. 1 means this sucks. Okay? So show me your numbers. Okay? Sehr gut. This is where I would expect people to be who have never seen German before.
Mhm.
Okay. And next is your speaking confidence, your production confidence. 5 means I don't have to look at the screen. I can just say whatever I want thus far. 4 means if I look at the screen, I can speak just fine. 3 means if I look at the screen, it's still a bit of a struggle. 2, this is really a struggle. 1, this sucks. Goodbye. Okay, good.
Mhm.
Okay, good. Sehr gut, klasse. Okay. George ist ein Junge. Oh. Gene, you're still muted. Ja. Georg or George. Georg ist ein Junge. Oh. And when you speak, use either Georg or George, whatever's easier for you to speak, because I care less about George and more about being able to say ist ein Junge. Okay. So I'll switch between both. George ist ein Junge. Oh. Klasse.
Ja.
Ist Georg ein Mädchen?
Nein.
Richtig, richtig. Sehr gut. Georg ist kein Mädchen. Georg ist ein Junge. Oh, klasse.
Ja.
Ist Georg kein Schwein?
Nein.
Oh. Ist Georg kein Schwein? Ja.
Ja.
Ja, richtig. Georg ist kein
Kein
Schwein. Georg ist ein Junge. That was a tricky question.
Oh.
Richtig. Georg ist ein Junge. Oh, klasse.
Ja.
Was ist George?
Ein Junge.
Richtig. Ein Junge. Georg ist ein Junge.
Mhm.
Oh, klasse.
Ja.
Ist Georg ein Junge oder eine Katze?
Ein Junge.
Richtig. Richtig. Georg ist keine Katze. Georg ist ein Junge. Oh, klasse.
Ja.
Ich bin ein Junge. Oh. We'll just pretend for the story. Ich bin ein Junge. Oh. Klasse.
Ja.
Bin ich ein Junge oder ein Mädchen?
Ein
Ein
Junge.
Junge.
Richtig. Ich bin kein Mädchen und kein Schwein und
Und
keine Katze und I'm sorry, und kein Elefant.
Ja.
Ich bin ein Junge.
Oh.
Oh. Jean,
ja,
bist du ein Junge oder ein Mädchen?
mhm. Ich bin ein Mädchen.
Richtig.
Mhm.
Du,
Du,
du bist
aha,
ein Mädchen.
aha.
Richtig, Jean. Jean,
ja,
ist George ein Schwein?
nein. George ist nein Schwein und George ist ein Junge.
Richtig, sehr gut. Applaus, Yorobun. Yorobun. Applaus. George ist kein Schwein. Georg ist ein Junge. Adele,
Ja.
bist du ein Elefant?
Nein, ich bin ein Mädchen.
Richtig.
Ah,
Du bist kein Elefant. Du bist keine Katze.
Mhm.
Du bist kein Junge. Du bist ein Mädchen. Applaus. Sehr gut. Baby,
ja,
was bist du?
es gibt, oh no. Ich bin ein, ich bin ein Mädchen.
Richtig. Sehr gut. Du bist ein Mädchen.
Mädchen.
Baby,
Ja,
ist Jean ein Elefant?
nein, Jean ist kein Elefant.
Richtig. Was ist sie? Was ist sie? Was ist Jean?
Jean ist ein Mädchen.
Richtig, sehr gut. Applaus. Jean ist ein Mädchen. Jean ist kein Elefant. Jean ist ein Mädchen. Jean,
Ja,
was ist Adele?
Adele ist ein Mädchen.
Richtig. Adele ist ein Mädchen. Jean,
Ja,
was
mhm.
ist Adele nicht?
Mhm. Sie,
Sehr gut.
sie,
Sie.
sie ist kein Schwein und sie ist kein Elefant und sie ist kein Katze.
Richtig, sie ist keine Katze.
Keine Katze.
Und sie ist kein
Kein
Elefant.
Elefant.
Und
Und
sie ist
sie ist
kein
ein
Schwein.
Schwein.
Richtig, sehr gut. Applaus. Klasse.
Ja.
Ist Georg eine Cola?
Nein.
Nein.
Richtig. Georg ist keine Cola. That's ridiculous. Georg ist keine Cola. Georg ist keine Cola. Und Georg ist keine Pizza. Georg ist keine Pizza. Georg ist ein Junge. Applaus. Sehr gut. Baby,
Ja.
bist du eine Cola?
Nein. Ich bin kein Cola.
Richtig. Du bist keine Cola.
Keine.
Du bist keine Cola.
Keine.
Baby,
Ja.
bist du eine Katze?
Nein. Ich bin keine Katze.
Richtig. Du bist keine Katze. Du bist keine Katze. Und ich bin keine Katze. Und Jean ist keine Katze. Und Adele ist eine Katze oder keine Katze?
Keine Katze.
Richtig. Adele ist keine Katze. Keine Katze. Adele,
Ja.
was ist Jean nicht? Sorry, nicht. Und was ist Bemichi nicht? Und was bist du nicht? So, Jean, Bemichi und dich.
I'm trying to remember how to say we are.
Oh, don't.
The-
Yeah.
okay,
Just do
all right.
individually. Yeah.
Okay. Jean ist keine Katze oder keine Schwein, kein Schwein
Mhm.
oder kein Elefant. Bemi ist keine. Oh, Jean ist ein Mädchen.
Richtig. Jean
Äh,
ist ein Mädchen.
Bemi ist ein Mädchen. Sie ist keine Katze, kein Schwein oder kein Elefant.
Und du?
Oh, ich bin ein Mädchen. Ich bin keine Katze oder Elefant oder Schwein oder Cola oder Pizza oder
Richtig.
Hopfen.
Sehr gut. Applaus. Applaus. Sehr gut. Jean,
Ja.
was bist du
Mhm.
nicht?
Mhm.
Und was bin ich nicht?
Mhm. Okay. Ich bin keine Katze.
Mhm.
Ich bin kein Schwein. Ich bin kein Elefant. Und ich bin kein Pizza oder kein Apple, kein kein Nathan.
Richtig, du bist nicht mich. Und ich.
And du bist keine Katze. Du bist kein Schwein. Du bist kein Mädchen.
Mhm.
Du bist ein Junge.
Richtig. Applaus. Sehr gut. Richtig. Du bist
Mhm.
kein
Ein
Elefant.
Elefant.
Du bist keine Pizza. Du bist keine Apfel. Apple. Apfel.
Mhm.
Ja. Du bist ein Mädchen. Und ich bin kein Elefant, keine Katze, keine Pizza, kein Schwein. Ich bin ein Junge.
Oh.
Baby,
Ja.
was
Mhm.
ist Georg? Oh. Was ist Georg nicht? Und was bist du nicht? Und ich. Was bin ich nicht? Georg, du und ich.
Mhm. Georg ist Georg ist kein Katz. Georg ist keine Katz. Georg
Mhm.
ist kein Schwein.
Mhm.
Georg ist kein Elefant. Ich bin kein Elefant. Ich bin keinen, no. Keine Katze. Ich bin kein Schwein. Du bist kein Elefant. Du
Mhm.
bist keine Katze. Du bist kein Schwein. Und du bist keine Apfel. Apfel?
Keine Kapf, keine
Kein
Apfel.
Apfel.
Ja,
Okay.
sehr gut. Apfel. Ja,
Mhm.
die
Apfel.
Apfel.
Die
Die
Apfel.
Apfel. Ja,
Oh.
sehr gut. Die Apple. Applaus. Okay, now from the very top, anything you can remember, beschreibe die Situation. Okay, and we'll start with Adele and then Jean and then Baby He. So you can start at the very beginning, whatever you can remember. And I'm going to give you 1 minute and 11 seconds.
So one by one? Or
Yes.
all together?
You,
One by one.
you And then Jean will go 1 minute and 11. And then Beimihi will go 1 minute and 11. And if you don't go the whole time, that's fine. Don't worry
Okay.
about it. It's just
Okay.
some kind of time. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3, los.
Es gibt keinen Jungen. Es gibt kein Mädchen oder ein Elefant oder eine Katze oder ein Schwein oder eine Apfel. Es gibt einen Jungen. Georg ist ein Junge. Georg ist kein Mädchen. Georg ist kein Elefant. Er ist keine Katze. Er ist kein Schwein. Er ist kein Apfel. Ich bin ein Mädchen. Ich bin keine Georg. No, you cannot say that. Ich bin keine Jungen. Ich bin kein Elefant oder Katze oder Schwein oder Apfel oder Pizza oder Cola. Nathan ist ein Junge. Jean ist ein Mädchen. Bemihi ist ein Mädchen.
Sehr gut. Applaus. Sehr gut.
Oh my God.
And I loved how you corrected your elephant. Because at first you
right.
said Georg ist kein, I think you said kein Elefanten or
Right.
keinen Elefant. And then you corrected that. That's very good. That's
Thank you.
that's very challenging for German learners at first to get. So, and you got it. Applause.
Thank you.
Applause. 장진 선생님.
I forgot.
Good. Perfect. That's how language acquisition goes.
okay,
Sometimes you forget.
okay.
1, 2, 3, los.
Es gibt einen Jungen. Es gibt keinen Elefanten. Es gibt kein Schwein. Es gibt keine Katze.
Mhm.
Ich bin ein Mädchen. Ich bin kein Schwein. Ich bin kein Schwein. Ich bin keine Katze. Und ich bin keine Jungen.
Mhm.
Ich bin kein Apfel. Und Pemihi ist ein Mädchen.
Mhm. Ein Mädchen.
Sie ist kein Schwein und sie ist keine Katze.
Sehr gut.
It's
You
hard.
did but you did a whole minute and 11 seconds after like just under an hour of class. Sehr gut. Sehr gut. Ja, richtig. Du bist kein Junge. Du bist kein Junge. Du bist kein Elefant. Du bist keine Katze. Du bist kein Schwein. Sehr gut. Babychi.
Ja,
1, 2, 3, los.
es gibt einen Jungen. Georgie ist ein Junge. Es gibt kein Es gibt kein Katz. Es gibt kein Schwein. Es gibt keine Apfel. Georgie ist keine Apfel. Georgie ist kein Schwein. Ich bin ein Mädchen. Ich bin kein where? Ich bin kein Schwein. Ich bin no. Keine Apfel.
Mhm.
Du bist ein Junge.
Sehr
Du,
gut.
okay.
Applaus. Sehr gut. Sehr gut. Yeah, you all did amazing. There's so many things to track. You know, you've got all these different endings and all these different words. So it's amazing what you're doing already. And this is to get you flexibility in your mind, because for German you need to have a lot of flexibility to change to change very quickly between der, die, and das, and ein, einen, eine, kein, keine, kein. It will all come with time, of course, but so impressive, so impressive. So what I would like to hear from, oh, you're muted, but I didn't hear what you're saying. What I'd like to hear from you is what I did that helped you as a student to learn, and what your experience was like. Adele, this is your first time with TPRs, so be curious to hear what you have to say.
Okay, so it was my first time with TPRS, not my first time with German. As you know, I started this like eons ago. And I'm very curious to see what it would feel like. I kept thinking, I wonder what it would feel like with Arabic, a language I've never heard. It's very helpful that you go really slowly and you have the visual, that you move the spotlight. Although I think that personally, I saw myself, although I knew all these words, that they sound the same in all the languages I speak, but I was relying a lot on the written word. I didn't like that too much. I would have liked for you to wipe everything off and say, okay, now you tell me what you remember in that 1 minute, or even make it a shorter time, but say, okay, now tell me whatever you remember that we talked about. It would have been good for me personally, but I don't know about other people.
Well, and what
Nothing.
I can do is that what we do is we say, now close your eyes and tell me the story.
Okay, right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Or
I think
cover
it would
your
be-
eyes or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Or
You
just don't look at this. So one thing that you can do on your own is just don't look at the screen
Right.
when
because
you
it's-
describe the situation.
because it's there. It's so
Right, right.
easy. It's just
Right.
such a crutch.
Right.
And I think this is also something that can be a crutch for language learners in general, that we tend to rely so much. Well, when you're out on the street, you don't have anything to read.
Right.
So that is something that I think could be useful, to just blacken everything and, okay, don't tell me.
That's good.
And yes, and I would love to see this with a language that not only I don't speak, but also I have really no inkling of. So it's going to have to
Right.
be Arabic, because I think any other,
Right.
more or less, I can find my way through. But this was great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Jean, how about you?
I totally understand your friend. She who just had the first experience Korean in her entire life. What's her name? Lisa? Right?
Yeah, Lisa.
Yeah, I understand. So my head was so busy with all the words, and then I never heard about any ya or nine before. But now I'm aware. I'm able to speak just two words, ya or nine.
Right.
And that's what I just got today, and I think it's a lot. And the thing is, the one thing I'm just wondering, I was wondering about the Yong'un and Yong'u. And I wanted to ask you, but I didn't want to really interrupt you
Right.
in the middle of the class. And I was curious about to know what the big J, Yong'u.
Yes. So every noun is capitalized in German.
Oh, I see.
Every
I see.
noun is capitalized.
Yeah, and then
So all of these, this is capital, capitalized. Every noun is capitalized. Every 명사. Yeah.
I see. And then the difficult part for me is that the pronunciation and
Mädchen. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a
I have
cat. It's like a
yeah
cat hissing.
yeah
It's
yeah.
in the back of your throat.
So I
Yeah.
never ever heard about that
Mm,
kind of
mm,
pronunciation.
mm.
It's like a really alien
Right, right, right.
alien pronunciation to me. So
맞아요.
my head was busy and I was scared to speak it out because of that pronunciation.
Right, right.
So that was the most difficult part for me. And
But you did so well.
and the ein and nine, ein, is it
Right.
ein or ein
Yeah.
or whatever?
Ein, nine.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the same. So you have ein here, nein, und ein, and kein. They're all the same. Yeah.
Yeah. And at first, and I have no idea what's the difference between kind and keine and the
Right.
keine or whatever.
Yeah. And you shouldn't know the difference.
Yeah.
Until much
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? Is it articles?
No.
So those are articles, right?
Well, yes, these are articles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So pronunciation and articles, because of two things, I was very busy. My head was so busy.
Right.
And it was chaos anyway.
And this is what is exciting, because when you take more classes, then you can see how all of that crystallizes, and then you realize how much you've acquired. I mean, this is your very, very, very first class. And this is why at the beginning we say it goes very, very, very slow. And you need to be patient with yourself.
Yeah.
Because
and
it's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And I appreciate that you are being patient.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's a good part. And you
because I went through this myself, learning German.
And then you spoke very slowly, and that's a good part too. And then if it should be better if you pronounce just is that okay if you just let us to repeat after you?
So that is a mindset kind of thing. So that's the issue with adult learners.
Yeah.
Is that there's this mindset, if I can't pronounce it, or if I pronounce it wrong, then I'm afraid to do it. So I hear what you're saying is that it can be helpful to repeat after me.
Yeah.
But the thing is I don't want to make the pronunciation important. So if I have you repeat after me, I'm naturally making the pronunciation important, and I'm focusing on the pronunciation. So So that's why I try to encourage you to just say you're not. It's going to be very awkward. It's going to be very weird. You're not going to sound like me.
Okay. Yeah.
So you just kind of have to push through that uncomfortable feeling and just say it. And when your brain is ready to hear it and understand what, how to do that, it will come later.
Yeah.
It's just like kids.
I feel more comfortable after 20 minutes anyway.
Yeah. And it's just like kids, when they pronounce Korean, we think they sound so cute. But somehow when we're adults, we don't think it's cute anymore. We think that I have to do this. I should be able to do this. And it's just really interesting to notice that difference between kids and adults. So, So
also like ich nicht is one of the worst
right
parts of German. Ich nicht, ich bin nicht.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes time.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it takes time.
And it's ich und nicht.
Yeah.
Mädchen. Especially for Korean, because it's so you don't have those sounds. Well, actually, you do a bit, because when you go, you have a little bit of it, but it's not in words.
Yeah, it's not a word.
It's really crazy because whenever I try to speak a foreign language, Korean wants to come out. So when you were asking questions, I was like, ich bin ein Ajumma.
Oh,
or
Fatima.
ne,
Yeah.
or
Right.
ne. You want to say,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy,
Language
like
interference. Yeah.
all the time, all the
Yeah.
time.
Yep. And that language interference is happening because the German is not strong and healthy.
Right.
Mm.
So in TPRS, we're always progressing towards strong and healthy language, and I'm listening for strong and healthy language. And when I hear strong and healthy language, that's when I add something new. That's
Mhm.
when I move to the next thing. If I
Mm.
hear that you have progressed far enough, it's not perfect, and you
Mm.
might still be reading, but it's when I can feel that it's getting stronger and healthier, then I progress. But I don't until there's some robustness to
Right.
your language.
Mhm.
Baby,
Yes, TPRS is very different from the original teaching methods.
like traditional methods, yeah.
Traditional methods. So I think if I learned foreign language without TPRS through the traditional ways,
Mm-hmm.
I think I will be very afraid of learning.
Mm.
But when you show when I see your slide, it makes me very comfortable.
Mm-mm.
Yes. So, of course, there are it's very difficult to learn the many kinds of articles and
Mm-mm.
the things that the pronunciation, but it's very exciting.
Right.
Yes. So, if we teach using this method to the students, even though it takes very long time, but it's very interesting, I
Yeah,
think. So,
right. And it gets faster,
Mm,
it gets faster and faster. And, we haven't really, none of you have seen how it gets faster. And none of you have felt how it gets easier like I have, because I've done hundreds of hours of Spanish. Well,
uh,
not quite hundreds, more than 100 hours of Spanish. And I can just really see the ease that comes with it. And, this is just the very, very beginning. So
Mhm.
I can't stress enough how all of this feedback that you're giving about, it's kind of a challenge and the pronunciation, like that goes away so fast. You have no idea how quickly that can go away. So I really hope to be able to get, Spanish at least, but courses going so that people can really have that experience of
mm,
um, that confidence growing, because you have some confidence in just a few little sentences, and that's what we build upon in TPRS is building your confidence so that you want to learn more and you want to go through those challenging
mm.
aspects of a language. So
Mhm.
I'm just so impressed with your German because having taken traditional German for 6 years,
Uh-huh.
switching between all of these articles, indefinite articles and definite articles and der, die, das,
And then when you get to verbs, you
right?
want to shoot yourself in the face.
Exactly.
Wow.
So like you are it's really difficult for you to understand
Mhm.
how good your German is. I mean, it's just a little bit of German.
Mhm.
It's not like you're having whole conversations in German, but the point is that it's tidy and it's clean and it's accurate, and that is um a good foundation for you to build upon, so you're not
Mhm.
having to um unravel things later in your language acquisition. Yeah, there's a couple of little things that you know maybe aren't accurate, but you're a beginner.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can probably understand this sentence already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Der Junge ist George,
Yeah.
Georg.
Yeah.
So voila, there's 3 sentences.
Voila.
And also, I think that lots of people really worry about like getting all those articles right, but
Right.
then in real life, when you're having a conversation, people can understand you anyway.
Right.
And
Ah,
I feel this especially for Koreans who are so afraid to speak English or
Right.
yes, right, right.
my Korean is in by no means perfect, but
No.
Mhm.
everybody understands me and that's okay.
Right.
Mm.
You know, so I think with this method, although like again, like because you're looking at it on the screen, you have
Mhm.
this feeling that you must get it right.
Mm,
But if
Mhm.
you were to eliminate the visual for a minute and ask
Mhm.
people to just talk for a minute,
Right. Right.
and
Right.
they
Right.
would be making mistakes with ein and kind, and
Mm.
at the end of the
Mm.
day, everybody understands, and that would be
Right. Right.
Mm.
fine,
Right.
right?
Right. Yeah,
Mm.
it's finding a delicate balance between those because
Yes.
I want to support my students in having the cleanest language they can as early
Right.
on as possible because those things can fossilize very quickly.
Yes,
True.
right,
So
right.
Yes.
so this is why in TPRS we introduce the past very early on, past tense very early on, and we use meaning with the past tense so that the
Mm.
present tense doesn't fossilize because
Mm.
fossilization is a real tricky little bugger when
Mhm.
you have
Mhm.
like a lot of Korean students that present tense is so deeply fossilized that they
Mhm.
have really difficult time with any other tenses and
Mm.
switching between
Yeah,
them.
that's true. That's true.
Uh so yes, we can have some times where you just don't look at the screen, close your eyes, or I mean I can even turn the screen off. Um just for a moment. I think I can turn the screen off.
Mm.
It's not
You
working
just
right
have
now, but
to unshare your screen, and then it will
yeah,
just see you.
yeah.
Stop
But
sharing.
yeah, if I write anything on the sides though, that would delete those. So
Right. No, never mind. Don't do that. It's okay.
but there's a button that you can push and it just makes a
It should
black
be right in the
screen.
middle.
It should be B, but it's not working for some
No,
reason.
oh, but if you see
Anyway.
like the bottom, it says share screen with the big green.
Oh yeah, I know about stopping
Unshare.
the share, but if I ever add annotations and I stop the share, it deletes the annotations. So
Isn't that on your PowerPoint?
hmm?
I don't think
Anyway,
it shouldn't delete
yeah.
your, because that's your PowerPoint.
Right. But if
You're
I were to
just-
ever use the annotate feature for something that I draw on the screen or whatever, anyway, it doesn't matter. But I'll figure
I'm not
out how
sure.
to
But
because
never
the
mind.
B button should just make this go black screen, but it's not working. Anyway, so yeah.
I didn't know about that. All right.
Well, thank you so much for being here.
Ich habe zwei Mädchen.
You have two girls, yeah. Es gibt
Es gibt
zwei Mädchen.
Mädchen.
Yeah, that's here.
Who
Eins,
must
zwei,
sleep.
drei, vier, fünf.
Ah.
Yes.
Okay.
The Mädchen must go to bed.
Yes.
Okay, right. So we need to go to
Gut.
bed right now.
Yes, we do too.
Yeah.
All right. Danke.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time.
Auf
Bye.
Wiedersehen. Bye.
Bye.